The psychology of being too nice. The secret trauma of people-pleasing. People call you nice. You're easy to talk to, easy to be around, easy to rely on. You don't start drama. You don't ask for much. You adjust. You accommodate. You forgive quickly. On the surface, it looks like kindness, but underneath, it might be survival. Because being too nice is rarely just a personality trait. It's often a trauma response. People-pleasing doesn't start with generosity. It starts with fear. Fear of conflict, fear of rejection, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being left. At some point in your life, you learned something powerful. It's safer to keep other people comfortable than to express what you really feel. Maybe you grew up in a house where anger wasn't safe, where love felt conditional, where approval had to be earned. If a parent was unpredictable, critical, or emotionally unavailable, your nervous system adapted. You became hyper-aware of moods. You learned to read the room. You learned how to smooth tension before it exploded. You learned that your needs could wait. This is called the Fawn Response. Most people know about fight or flight, but there's a third trauma response, fawning. Instead of fighting the threat or running from it, you appease it. You become agreeable, helpful, undemanding. Not because you're weak, because your brain figured out that compliance equals safety. The problem? That strategy doesn't turn off when you grow up. It follows you into friendships, into dating, into work. You say yes when you want to say no. You apologize when you didn't do anything wrong. You over-explain small boundaries. You feel guilty for having basic needs. And when someone is upset with you, your body reacts like it's an emergency. Your heart races. Your thoughts spiral. You replay the conversation over and over. Because for a people pleaser, disapproval doesn't feel uncomfortable. It feels dangerous. Here's the deeper psychological layer. People pleasers often confuse being liked with being safe. If everyone is happy with you, you can relax. If someone is distant, cold, or irritated, your nervous system lights up. So you overfunction, you fix, you accommodate, you give more. But over time, something starts to happen. Resentment builds. Because when you constantly prioritize other people's comfort, your own needs go unmet. And unexpressed needs don't disappear. They turn into exhaustion, irritability, emotional numbness, sometimes even quiet anger toward the very people you're trying to please. Here's the deeper irony. The more you try to secure love through self-sacrifice, the less seen you actually feel. Because people can only connect with the version of you that you show. If you never show your real preferences, your limits, your frustration, your disagreement, they don't actually know you. They know the edited version, and that creates loneliness, even when you're surrounded by people. Another hard truth, being too nice can unintentionally train people to take you for granted, not because they're evil, but because humans adjust to what's consistent. If you always say yes, they stop asking if you're sure. If you never push back, they assume you're fine. If you never express hurt, they assume you don't feel it, and the cycle continues. But here's where it shifts. Healing from people-pleasing doesn't mean becoming rude, it means becoming honest. It means understanding that boundaries are not punishments, they're information. When you say, I can't do that, when you say, that didn't sit right with me, when you say, I need time, you're not being difficult, you're being real. And yes, some people will resist the new version of you because they benefited from the old one. That doesn't mean you're wrong. It means the dynamic is changing. The deeper work is internal.
You have to teach your nervous system that conflict is uncomfortable, but not catastrophic. That someone being disappointed does not equal abandonment. That being disliked by a few people doesn't cancel your worth. And most importantly, you are not responsible for managing everyone's emotions. You are responsible for being authentic. There's a big difference. True kindness comes from choice. People-pleasing comes from fear. One feels expansive. The other feels heavy. If you recognize yourself in this, don't shame yourself. At some point, being agreeable protected you. It helped you survive something. But you're not in that environment anymore. You don't have to earn safety the same way. You don't have to shrink to stay connected. You don't have to trade authenticity for approval. The goal isn't to become less kind. It's to become kind without abandoning yourself. Because the healthiest version of you isn't the one who keeps everyone comfortable. It's the one who can be honest, even when it risks disapproval. And the people who are meant to stay, they won't love you less when you stop overgiving. They'll respect you more. And for the first time, your kindness won't feel like survival. It will feel like strength.